COVID thing, you know. I mean, I didn't have COVID, but because of the, well, I don't have to explain to everybody what COVID, that'd be funny if you're like, what is this COVID thing you're talking about? I don't know. No, but it's been a year and a half since I performed, and we took it really, really serious out in California, which is where I am, and I'm glad to see a lot of you guys are taking it serious too. In California, it was not only the masks, but they also, and this is kind of a sensitive subject, they also made you wear condoms. And I mean, it's a good idea anyway, but it was kind of weird. You know, I was about to have sex, and this guy from the county health department showed up, and he was like, hey, you gotta put a condom on that thing. And I was like, dude, I'm all by myself right now. I'm not even putting anybody in danger. This is weird. But I'm gonna do some music for you in a little bit. You guys, obviously you like music. We've got music everywhere. And I've heard a little bit so far. You guys got a lot of great music coming up. I've always liked to say that music is my drug. You know, music is drugs for me. I know for you guys it's crystal meth or cocaine or yeah, LSD, you know, whatever. Ecstasy. And don't get me wrong, I do all those things also. I just think that music's a good thing to do as well. And I'm going to be doing it for you in a little bit.
Okay.
The music, the other stuff I'm going to do afterward. No. What is that? Yeah. I didn't hear it the second time, but there's a point where you just, otherwise it'd be me saying what over and over again, and he'd be saying something about supporting drug use, and yeah, I'm happy to do that. No, I'm mostly joking about everything. I've always had the worst luck when it comes to meeting new people for the first time. And this is a true story. I was at the bank, and there was a lady in front of me in the line, and I had to sneeze really bad, but I didn't want to sneeze all over, so I tried to hold it in. And I don't know if you guys have ever had this when you try to hold in a sneeze. And I don't know how I did this, but somehow I wound up making the sneeze noise, but at the last minute, like the sneeze part just pulled out for no reason. So I was behind her and I just kind of made a noise like this, where I was like, like that, right? So it's like, I think it would have been better if I just sneezed, because that's not a sound you want to hear this guy making behind you when you're at the bank or whatever, but nothing happened with her. And this one's even worse. I was in an elevator. I was checking into my hotel room, and I was in the elevator, and there's a bunch of other people, you know, business people, and again, there's a couple ladies there I was trying to talk to, and it wasn't going anywhere. And when I got to my floor, I didn't know if I was supposed to go right or left, but I just wanted to get out of there and look cool, so I was like, I'm just gonna go left and I'll figure it out later. So I get to my floor and I was like, okay, well, you have a good one, and maybe I'll see you guys. And I just very confidently walked out and went left, but there's just a wall right here, and I was like, oh shit. But I didn't think anybody could see, so I thought, well, maybe what I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna kind of like stand here and hide up against the wall just for a second, and then I'll wait for the doors to close so that way nobody can tell I screwed up, right? So I'm just kind of standing here hiding against this wall, waiting, and the doors aren't closing forever. But while I was standing there, I looked across, and they got a giant mirror, and I could see everybody, and they're looking at me, and I'm just standing here hiding against this wall, waiting, and I didn't know what to say. I was like, oh, hey. And then the doors started slowly closing at the last minute, and that's the last thing everybody saw. And I was like, oh man, I couldn't have handled that worse. I should have just been like, whoop, sorry, wrong way. And then instead I turned into this whole awkward world of nonsense. And so, but I like embarrassing moments, and I have a lot of them. I'm gonna share one more with you here before we get started on the other stuff. But, and this gets into kind of an embarrassing thing, and it doesn't really make, the story doesn't make me look good, but whatever. A friend of mine introduced me to his new girlfriend, and we went to a restaurant. There's nobody there. It was like off hours, and he went out to make a phone call or something. So it was literally just his new girlfriend and I sitting in this restaurant for a couple of minutes all by ourselves. And it's kind of quiet, and then all of a sudden, 2 minutes into the conversation, I started smelling fart a little bit, you know? And I was like, oh man. And we're all adults here, right? It's not like, I'm not gonna make fun of her for farting. It's like a bodily, when you get to a certain age, you're like, okay, it's a bodily function. It's not funny. It's just air poo is all it is, really. But so I just ignored it, which I thought was the right thing to do. Well, all of a sudden she said to me, she goes, ew, did you fart? And I was like, no. And nice try, but there's only 2 of us sitting here right now. Like, you can't fart and blame it on the only other person in the room. Like, that's crazy. And I tried to explain that to her. I was like, if Carl was still sitting here, then there's a chance that I could think it's him and then he could think it's me. So if you have a minimum of 3 people, you can create like a reasonable doubt situation. But I was like, in this case, it's gonna be impossible for you to make me think that I'm the one who farted, right? And she didn't understand the logic of what I was saying, and she got really upset. She was like, so you farted and you're blaming it on me? Oh, whatever. And then she got up and went to the bathroom. And I was thinking, oh, she's probably gonna go fart in the bathroom or whatever. And so then, and this, guys, this is where the story takes kind of a dark, sort of a twist. But Halloween's all about dark twists. So here we go. So at this point, I'm sitting there by myself, and there's no one anywhere around. And then I started to smell fart again. And that's when I was like, oh no. I think it's been me that's been farting this whole time. And I was like, I was so embarrassed. I just got up and walked out and just left. I've never seen those people since then. I was like, that's it. And I guess the reason that story is so, what would you say, beautiful or important, I guess, in this day and age where everybody's so divided on everything, is that it points out how so many times in life we're the one who've been farting the whole time. And I just think it's something to think about, so hopefully you can think about that. Sorry, I don't have an ending for that story. I wanted to share it though. I really wanted to get it off my chest. Thank you! Thanks! Woo. Oh man. Just one more really quick thing and then I'm gonna do some music for you, but I wanna apologize if I seem a little extra kind of more awkward tonight than I normally am. I'm going through a breakup situation, which sucks. I know, and my friends are tired of hearing me complain about it. It's been about 11 years now or whatever, but it just sucks, you know, when it happens. And but I was seeing this girl recently who was cool, and I don't think she knew this, and this is important, I want to say, for some of the ladies out there in the room tonight. Like, I think there's some things that maybe a woman shouldn't say when you're right in the middle of the act of like having sex or being intimate, you know. Like, I have no problem if you're doing that, and at one point the lady wants to say something like, hey, I really like it when you do this, you know, down there, whatever that is. But this girl would always be like, oh, I really like it when people, and I was like, people? That's not the right word at all, right? That's not even like gender specific, you know? You just kind of picture a crowd of people, like DMV or something like that. So that was one. And then the other one, and I don't want to belabor this point too much, but I have no problem if you're doing that, and at one point maybe the lady you're with wants to give a compliment, say something like, hey, I really like, you know, your penis or whatever, you know? And but this girl was always like, oh wow, I really like penises. I was like, penises? That's not a compliment at all, right? It's not saying, it's not hard to put the word your in there, I guess is what I'm saying. And this is the last one, and I don't, again, you know, somebody told me there were children out there, so I apologize if it's a family outing for you. So this is the last thing I'm going to say about this girl, and then we're going to do some music here. But I guess that at one point she had shaven the area around her pubic region or whatever, and it came out wrong for some reason, and she was walking around and she kept on going, oh man, now everybody's going to think that, and I was like, who's everybody? Why would everybody be seeing that? So anyway, that's enough about her, and that, you guys want to hear some music? Let's do it.